morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic gas laws. So what do you mean by the gas laws? We discussed very clearly in the last class the general characteristics of the gases and measurable properties of gases. What are the measurable properties of gases? Mass, temperature, pressure and value. These measurable properties are dependent on each other. So that means if any one of the properties changes, the remaining three will be affected. So the different scientists studied how these properties are changes by changing the other properties. Based on that one, they made certain generalizations. That generalizations are called gas laws. What they give? These gas laws gives the quantitative relationship between any two variables by keeping the other two variables is constant. Means, for example, pressure, volume, temperature, number of moles is there. I kept the constant temperature and I will take the fixed amount of a gas. How the pressure is changes with changing the volume of a gas. Based on that one generalization is made. After that, the pressure and temperature will be remains constant. Then how the volume and amount of a gas are related to each other. The next time, the volume and fixed amount of a gas is constant. How the pressure and temperatures are related to each other. So like that, the different scientists can be studied. So the effect of one variable on the other variable by keeping the other two constant. So they made certain generalizations. That generalizations are called gas laws. In that, the first gas law is Boyle's law. So this Boyle's law is studied by the Robert Boyle. In that one, he was studied the relation between pressure and volume. So by keeping the constant, the temperature and amount of a gas. Amount of a gas. So these two are kept as a constant. And how the pressure and volumes are related to each other, that was studied by this Robert Boyle. From that studies, he was made one generalization or he was made one law. That law is called Boyle's law. What is Boyle's law? It states that at constant temperature, pressure of a fixed amount of a gas varies inversely with the volume of gas. So in up to the 10th standard, generally anybody can ask what is Boyle's law. Simply we say the pressure is inversely proportional to volume of a gas. Don't say like that. So this is the term is very important. The constant temperature and fixed amount of a gas. So these two always we are forgetting. At constant temperature, the pressure of a fixed amount of a gas varies inversely proportional to the volume of a gas. That is, we can express mathematically the pressure is inversely proportional to volume of a gas at constant temperature and pressure. Remove the proportionality with a constant, then P is equal to K into 1 by B. Then PV is equal to K. So what is K here? K is proportionality constant whose value is depends upon the temperature and amount of a gas. Now, for example, here, let us take a fixed amount of a gas and at constant temperature, and by taking the fixed amount of a gas, whose pressure is initially, for example, P1, whenever its volume is V1. When the volume is changes to V2, the pressure is changes to P2. So the P1 is the pressure of a gas, of a fixed amount of a gas whose volume is V1 at a constant temperature, and P2 is the pressure of the same amount of a gas when its volume is V2. According to Boyle's law, at a constant temperature, the pressure of a fixed amount of a gas is inversely proportional to the volume, so that PV is equal to K. That is, you can apply here. So P1 V1 is equal to K, and P2 V2 is equal to K. When we are equating these two equations, we are getting P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So this is the one of the note. This is the formula can be used to calculate the useful to solve the certain numericals, because in sometimes it might be given at a constant temperature for a fixed amount of a gas, the pressure and volumes are initially so and so, and the volume is changes to the so and so value, then what is the pressure? Then we can simply apply Boyle's law. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. And how we can say, represent this graphical representation of this Boyle's law is graphical representation of Boyle's law. So when we take the pressure on y-axis, volume on x-axis, with the increasing the volume, the pressure is decreases. So initially the pressure is very high. So as the volume is increases, the pressure is decreases. So like that we are getting the graph. Suppose this is at a temperature, at a constant temperature T. So at different temperatures, I need to find out the relation between pressure and volume. So for that one, I can draw one graph here. Again, let us take the pressure and volume. Now I can draw the graph at different temperatures T1, T2, T3. So then, in everywhere, I get the graph like this at a temperature T1, at a temperature T2, at a temperature T3, like that I am getting. Say, this is at T1 and this is at T2 constant temperature, at T3 constant temperature. I am getting the plots like that. Now here, so let us take at a particular value. At a particular value, let us take the values just to analyze. So at a particular value, so the pressure at a temperature is T1, this one. At a temperature T2, the pressure is this one, and pressure is this one. So that is clearly indicates as the pressure is increases. So the pressure is whenever it increases when the temperature is increases. That's why what should I write here simply? So now the T3 is greater than T2 is greater than T1. So now whatever these plots are obtained, okay. So when we draw the pressure versus volume at different temperatures are called isotherms. All these plots are called which one? Isotherms. This is one of the plot regarding this Boyle's law. And one more is, I'll draw this. So there are so many graphs are possible. When we draw a graph, the pressure, volume versus volume. So whatever the increasing the volume at a constant temperature, so even though changing the volume, the pressure is also changes. Again, ultimately you are getting the constant. So at a particular volume, you are getting this value constant. Again, increasing the volume remains constant, remains constant, remains constant. You are getting the line which is parallel to the x-axis, because even though changing the volume, so the product of the pressure and volume is always remains constant. So like that you are getting. And in this case also, if you draw the plot at different temperatures, at a temperature is T1 like this, at a temperature T2 like this. So this is T2, say for this is as T1. Then among the temperature T2 and T1 which is larger. So again you can see at a constant value. Okay, so now here and this is a 1. This is clearly indicates the volume is constant. Okay, but the PV value is increases. That means the nothing but the P value is increases. So that's why when the P is increases, whenever the temperature is increases, the movement of a molecule is increases, they are hitting the walls of a container, so that the pressure is also increases, so that I can write here T2 is greater than T1. This is the another graph. Okay, we can draw between PV versus V. And one more plot is there. So I'll show, that is, when we draw a plot, so pressure versus 1 by V. So pressure versus 1 by V. So that is Y is equal to mx, in the form of Y is equal to mx. So here pressure is equal to K into 1 by V. So now here this is Y axis, this is a slope, and x. On x axis you can take the 1 by V. So on y axis the pressure, then if it is Y is equal to mx, it is passing through a origin, we are getting a straight line. This is another plot. So where we get the slope is equal to, we are simply getting the value k. So these are the different graphical representation of the Boyle's law. In the first one, we can draw pressure versus volume at a constant temperature. With increasing the volume, the pressure is decreases. That is clearly indicated. So now we can draw the plot. Then the second one, pressure versus volume at different constant temperatures. So when we draw like this, here, so we are getting the different plots. All these different plots we are called as here simply isotherm, because these are the plots we are obtained at different constant temperatures. That's why these are called isotherm. Isotherm means it is a constant temperature. And among sometimes in your examination they may ask the question T1, T2, T3. So which is greater value? Then at that time you can analyze. Let us take at a particular value. So what are the pressures? Okay. In the first plot this is the pressure. In the second plot this is the pressure. In the third plot this is the pressure. So that means so here at T3 the P value is more. That means as the temperature is increases, generally the pressure is increases. So the T3 is greater than, T2 is greater than T1. Sometimes to confuse, they might be given here T3, here T2, here T1. At that time, obviously, when we are normally analyzing, always while taking the values, T3 should be greater than, T2 is greater than T1 when you are writing any notes. But to confuse you, they might be given here T3, here T1. Then obviously at that time, what is the answer is that T1 is greater than, T2 is greater than T3. That's why here we need to be analyzed by seeing the plot. That is the second. The third plot is when we draw the PV versus V. So PV versus, even though the value is changes, when the value is changes, the pressure is also changes. So that's why the product of the pressure and value is always said to be constant. So whatever the value you can apply, the PV value is always said to be the constant. That's why we are getting a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis. So when we draw this plot at two different temperatures, T2 and T1, so we are getting the straight lines in both the cases, they are parallel to x-axis. But among the T2 and T1, which is greater? Then again at a particular value you can analyze. So when you are analyzing, the value is constant, but the PV value is increases. That means the pressure value is increases. When the pressure value is increases is nothing but, so the temperature is also increases. So that's why T2 is greater than T1. And the fourth plot, we can draw the plot pressure versus 1 by V. So this is in the form of Y is equal to mx, so that we get a straight line which is passing through the origin. So we are getting the plot like this. The slope, this m is equal to what is here k. The slope is obtained k value. The k value is by calculating the slope of that plot we are getting. So this is about the graphical representation of the Boyle's law. Simply here we need to be remembered. So here the Boyle's law is how the pressure and volume are variable by keeping the temperature and amount of a gas is constant. What they say that at constant temperature, the pressure of a fixed amount of a gas is inversely proportional to the volume of a gas. That means as the volume of a gas is increases, the pressure is decreases. As the volume of gas is decreases, the pressure is increases. That is mathematically we can express P is inversely proportional to 1 by V, that is P is equal to K into 1 by V, PV is equal to constant. The proportionality K is a proportionality constant whose value is depends upon temperature and amount of a gas. So this is the formula can be used to calculate or to solve certain numericals. So whenever at a particular temperature and by taking a fixed amount of a gas, P1 is the pressure of a gas when V1 is the value. Then the pressure is changes from P1 to V2 whenever the value is changes from V1 to V2. In that case, we can apply the Boyle's law. Then P1 V1 is equal to K, P2 V2 is equal to K, then P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2. So this is the formula mostly useful to solve the numericals. This is about the Boyle's law. So the second law is Charles law. It was studied by the Jacques Charles. So the effect of temperature on volume of a gas at constant pressure and a fixed amount of a gas. Here the amount of a gas and the pressure will be taken as a constant. The temperature and volume, how they are changes, how they are dependent each other, that was studied by the Charles law. This law states that at constant pressure, the volume of a given mass of a gas increases or decreases by 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade for each 1 degree rise or fall in temperature. Once again, at constant pressure, okay, the volume of a given mass of a gas increases or decreases. How much? 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade. For when? So for each 1 degree rise or fall in temperature. When we are rising or falling the temperature by 1 degree centigrade, how much volume is increases or decreases? 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade. That much of either rise or decreases, that is depending upon the 1 degree rise or fall in temperature. So that is Charles law. So for example, let us say, to analyze this one, initial volume at 0 degree centigrade, V0 is the initial volume at 0 degree centigrade. So, and I am rising the temperature at T degree centigrade, then what is the volume is Vt. What is the volume is Vt. So whenever a temperature is rises from 0 degree centigrade to T degree centigrade, the volume is changes from V0 to Vt. So the Vt may be written in terms of Charles law, how we written as Vt is equal, the total volume is equal initial volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade, initial volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade, plus by rising this much of temperature to T degree centigrade, how much rise in volume? That is a rise in volume. And that means, so the volume of a gas at T degree centigrade is equal initial volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade plus rise in volume by rising the temperature from 0 degree centigrade to T degree centigrade. What is the initial volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade? That is V0. At 0 degree centigrade, what is the volume is V0. What is the how much rise in volume? When temperature is rises from 0 degree centigrade to T degree centigrade, how much volume is rises? That is we have to be first calculate. So he was given one clue. So whenever you are rising the 1 degree temperature, the volume is increased by 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade. So now, for example, just for your understanding, so I am rising 1 degree temperature. How much it is increases? 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade. 1/273 times of its volume at 0 degree centigrade. At 0 degree centigrade, how much? V0. This much of volume is increases. V0 by 273. For how many degrees rise in temperature? For 1 degree rise in temperature. But did you rise the 1 degree rise in temperature? No. How much you are rising? 0 degree centigrade to T degree centigrade. For 1 degree rise in temperature, this much. For T degree centigrade, how much it is rises? So nothing but what you write here. So is equal. So T degree centigrade into V0 by 273 by 1 degree centigrade. That is equal T0 degree centigrade into V0 by 273. So now how much volume is rises? T degree centigrade into V0 by 273. That is the rise in value. So now you can substitute. Volume of a gas at T degree centigrade is equal to initial volume of a gas at 0 degree centigrade is how much? That is V0 plus how much rise in volume by rising the temperature T degree centigrade? T degree centigrade into V0 by 273. T degree centigrade into V0 by 273. So that the volume of a gas at T degree centigrade is equal V naught plus V naught by 273 into T degree centigrade. So like that we can calculate how the total volume of a gas at T degree centigrade. So this is the equation is help us to derive the absolute Kelvin temperature scale. So now here we can draw a plot the temperature in degree centigrade versus volume. So when we are draw a plot the volume of a gas and versus temperature in degree centigrade, so we get a straight line. Like that we are getting the straight line. So now this straight line whenever it is extrapolated by lowering the temperature, because this is clearly indicates by rising the temperature the volume of a gas is increases. Whenever the temperature is decreases, the volume of a gas is what happened? Decreases. So as the temperature is decreases, the volume of a gas is decreases. So that this straight line is extrapolated toward the lower temperature. Definitely at a particular temperature, the volume of a gas is become zero. Because when you are extrapolating, definitely at a particular temperature, it is touches the x-axis. So this is touches the x-axis, nothing but the volume of is become which one? Zero. On further decreasing, on further extending, so it is goes to down. That means the volume of a gas is become negative. That means whenever we draw a plot volume versus temperature, we get a straight line. This straight line whenever it is extrapolated toward the lower temperature, it touches the horizontal x-axis at a particular temperature. So that is clearly indicates the volume of a gas is become zero. On further decreasing the temperature, the volume of a gas is become negative. But in reality, physically, the volume of a gas is become zero or the volume of a gas is become negative has no meaning. So that's why, so whenever it is touches, okay, this horizontal x-axis, what is the temperature at the time is 273.15. What is it? 273.15 minus 273.15 degrees centigrade is the least possible temperature at which the volume of a gas is become zero. So now after that is further decreasing minus 273.15 degrees centigrade temperature, what is happening? The volume of a gas is become negative. So the volume of a gas is become zero or it become negative has no physical meaning. So from this point, so this is taken an advantage by the Lord Kelvin, a British scientist. So the minus 273.15 degrees centigrade, it is the least possible temperature. It was taken as 0 Kelvin. How much it is? 0 Kelvin. So minus 273.15 degrees centigrade temperature is equal to is stated as 0 Kelvin. Whenever it is become equal to 0, that is minus 273.15 degrees centigrade plus when you are adding the value 273.15 is equal 0 Kelvin. So this is the temperature in degree centigrade. And temperature in degree centigrade is added to the 273.15. Then we are getting the temperature in Kelvin. So this is called Kelvin temperature scale. So like that in order to convert the temperature from degree centigrade to the temperature in Kelvin, so we are getting the relation from this plot, that is degree centigrade plus 273.15 is equal temperature in what is it? Kelvin. So like that we are getting the relation between degree centigrade and temperature. So from this Charles law, this is taken by this was studied by the Lord Kelvin. So like that, so we get the least possible temperature where so the volume of the gas is become zero. But here I would like to say the one point. So when you are decreasing the temperature, the volume of a gas is decreases, the volume of a gas is become zero. The volume of a gas is become zero is not possible. Generally, any gas before approaching this temperature, that is converted into the liquid state. So no gas will be remained as a gas until reaching this temperature. So this is just we are studied it because of getting this Kelvin temperature scale. So now this is about the Charles law. So from this one, so there is some alteration form of Charles law is there, that is I will discuss now. So now from that derivation, so for whatever you derive, the volume of a gas at T degree centigrade is equal, so initial volume plus so the rising volume V naught by 273 into T degree centigrade. Just you can simplify this one, Vt is equal, let us take the common V naught of 1 plus T degree centigrade by 273. then Vt is equal to V naught. Just you can take LCM 273 plus T naught degree centigrade by 273. Just rearranging this equation, Vt by 273 plus T degree centigrade is equal to V naught by 273. What is 273 plus T degree centigrade? That is temperature in Kelvin at T degree centigrade. What is 273? The 273 we are getting at 0 degree centigrade. So that's why the 273 is equal to T at 0 degree centigrade in Kelvin. 273 plus T degree centigrade is represent the temperature in Kelvin. So at T degree centigrade. Just you can substitute these two values in this one. Vt by T at T degree centigrade is equal to V naught by T at 0 degree centigrade. That is Vt by V naught is equal to temperature at T degree centigrade by temperature at 0 degree centigrade. This is clearly indicates the relation. The volume is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. So volume is directly proportional to absolute temperature in Kelvin. That is, remove the proportionality. V is equal to K into T, where K is the proportionality constant whose value is depends upon the constant measurable properties. One is pressure and another one is mass of a gas. So from this one, so nowadays this is a common statement was given when they can ask to write the Charles law, but nobody can write that whatever we discussed just now. This is you can mention. There is no need to be mentioned the Charles law. The Charles law may also be stated as at constant pressure the volume of the given mass of a gas is always directly proportional to the absolute temperature. So this law is called as Charles law. This is the alternative form of a Charles law. What is that? At constant pressure, the volume of a given mass of a gas is directly proportional to the absolute temperature. Suppose if at constant pressure V1 is the volume of a gas, volume of a given mass of gas at temperature at T1. If V2 is the volume of a given mass of a gas at a temperature T2, according to Charles law, so that is V1 is equal to K1 into T1, V2 is equal to K into T2. That is V1 by T1 is equal to K, V2 by T2 is equal to K. So from this one what we concluded is simply V1 by T1 is equal to V2 by T2. So this is the equation is useful to solve the problems on Charles law. And what are the graphical representations? So this is very clear. The very first that graphical representation is volume versus temperature. So as the temperature is increases, the volume is also increases, so that we get the straight line like this at a constant pressure. At constant pressure. Similarly, if we draw the volume versus temperature at different pressures, we may get like that. We are getting this one. This is we can draw at P1, this is at constant pressure P2, this is at constant pressure 3. These plots, whatever the plots are obtained, they are called isobars. The plots which are obtained at constant pressure are called generally isobars. Now, among the P1, P2 and P3, so which is larger in value? So that is we need to be analyzed. Generally, let us take at a particular temperature. In a particular temperature, so this is the value and this is the value, this is the value. So at P1 the volume is more. Volume is more means pressure is less. That's why your condition is P1 is less than P2 is less than P3. So now this is the graph, the another graphical representation of Charles law. These plots we are called as which one? Isobars. When we draw a plot at constant pressure, the plots which are often called isobars. This is about the Charles law. Simply, what is Charles law? So at constant pressure, the volume of a given mass of a gas is always directly proportional to the absolute temperature. So this Charles law is help us to determine that absolute Kelvin temperature scale, that is what is the least possible temperature at the volume of a gas is become 0, that is minus 273.15. That 273.15 degrees centigrade is taken as a 0 Kelvin. So to get 0, we need to add the 273.15 to the minus 273.15. That's why to convert the temperature in degree centigrade to Kelvin, to the degree centigrade temperature, just we can add the 273.15. We are getting the temperature in Kelvin, that is called absolute Kelvin temperature. Always while doing the numericals, you have to be substituted the absolute Kelvin temperature, that is a capital T. So this is about the Charles law. So in most of the textbooks, while solving the numericals, while substituting the absolute temperature, so instead of the 273.15, they can take it as a 273, just that is for getting the calculation easy. Even you can also substitute the absolute Kelvin temperature. So by taking the values 273, so then you are getting the calculation, or you are getting the answer approximately whatever is mentioned in that multiple choice questions or answer. So you can also convert the temperature in degree centigrade to temperature in Kelvin. Just you can add the 273 to the degree centigrade. Suppose if you are not getting the answer very clearly, so if the given answers are very closely there, at that time you have to be substitute. So the temperature 273.15. This is keep in your mind while solving the numericals.